Alright guys, Ted Cribbit here again today, and we're going to be talking about CWL Anaheim once again. Not too much has happened over the last day or so, so I thought I'd talk through some storylines that may or may not come out from this event. Yesterday we talked about players to watch. Tomorrow I may well talk about some notable open bracket teams, unless something very interesting happens. Not too many developments really with the Optic Gaming situation over the last day or so. As I said, Hitch did make a kind of funny video where he was absolutely wasted on stream, kind of explaining what might be going on, especially with the OG, the old guard situation compared to Immortals' new Optic. So I will leave that linked down below if you guys are interested in watching that. But as I say, not too much really happened over the last day or so. What I did want to mention before the video here though is that if you want to predict CWL Anaheim, which starts as you can see right here this weekend, June 14th through the 16th, if you want to predict it and put your predictions on display and see how well you do, you can join my Discord at the link in the description box below and also in the pinned comment if I remember to put it there. Thanks to Rattlesnake, he organises all this stuff, so you can go in, you can predict how you expect the pools to finish, and then we usually end up just predicting the winners bracket matches, and then like the losers finals, and then the grand finals of course, and maybe the losers semis this year. I'm not exactly sure what Rattlesnake is doing, but yes, that's the idea. And if you want to be in the Discord and have a chat about the games and see how people are enjoying it, or you know, have a discussion, then it's usually really great, and there are a lot of great guys. So if you guys want to join the Discord, the link will be down below. As always, I would highly recommend it. Excellent stuff. So let's move onwards here to talk about some storylines. Wanted to talk about some storylines for individual teams here really before getting on to maybe some individual matchups, because when we look at these pools on the whole, there's not a crazy amount of storylines that come out of these pools, I would suggest. The only storylines that really come out is when teams match up outside of the pools, because you look at Pool A, is there teams here that really have particular rivalries? Not really, I guess. EG versus Optic, there's some big names in there like JCab, especially towards the end of the year when when it gets towards the business end, JCab's teams always tend to do really damn well, but we're still not right at the end of the season yet, so I don't really think that's a big storyline. Within Pool B, there's nothing particularly special. If we had Elevate versus Denial, then that would be very spicy, because Rated has said a lot of stuff on Twitter about about the French guys and the fact that they don't have a spot anymore, and a lot of stuff demeaning them, to be honest. And yeah, within Pool C as well, nothing particular. Of course, we do have Parasite down here, so there's always going to be some fun matchups there. But in terms of big rivalries, not really too much to be said. Of course, we do have Temp, but he doesn't really have any of his players on his team here that he has had real rivalries with in the past. He's not in the same pool as someone like Hook or something that he's teamed with in the past, or even TJ Halley playing with Optic Gaming. But that would be quite exciting if they do end up matching up out of this. But within the pool itself, there's nothing particularly exciting to be said there. And then 100 Thieves, the rest of this pool is, once again, there's not a crazy amount of rivalries. We do have Aches here, which of course always makes things exciting. And if Luminosity can be good, then this is going to be a fun pool. But on the whole, a lot of the storylines come as the tournament will progress, rather than, I believe, in the pool play themselves. So these are all the players and all the teams that are going to be attending, or at least in the pro portion. I think it's the biggest open bracket ever on the other side of things. So we'll probably talk about that tomorrow, because there's a lot of big names in the open bracket as well that you guys are going to want to keep your eyes on the weekend for more reasons than one. So moving onwards here, we have, firstly, is Denial. This is what I was talking about yesterday with Brack. This is a team that seems on the verge of making a roster change. Rated did a lot of tweets over a couple of days ago saying how, not everyone on the team is fully committed to the practice grind. Rated is the only guy sitting there watching VODs, and he said that, okay, Brack is performing the best on this team, there's no denying that. We do need to play better to get up to his level. I think on the whole, Joe has been very good, and Alex has been quite good as well. I just think Rated and Bance really haven't played to the level that we've seen from them in the past. Maybe that's something to do with how the team composition is working, but I know that Rated and Brack get on very well as friends. So it'd be interesting if he does decide to leave. I really think this is a team to keep your eye on though, because yes, they are in this Pool A, which means that Optic should come first, but I wouldn't completely put it past Denial to get out of this pool. I think the Heretics and EG are better teams right now, but I think it's still possible, and it could be quite interesting if they do manage to make it out. I think they're a team that can definitely go game 5 with both of those teams. It's just about whether they win their search and destroys, which has always been the downfall, I think, of a team with Joe rated to bans. They tend to lose the search and destroys that really matter for my money. And if they don't, if that doesn't happen, a lot of you guys were talking about where Brack should go if he does decide to leave this team. Will he end up on a team like an Envy or something? Supposedly he had a lot of offers before this roster change period, decided to go with Dinar because he got on with rated, and a lot of talented players on that team that have made many grand finals in the past. So I don't, blame him for the decision at all. And maybe if it works out here, then he could stay on Dinar for the rest of the season. But let's keep this in mind. June 17th through to the 20th after Anaheim is the final roster change period we have for the entire season. After this, you are stuck until finals. You are stuck until champs. So this is big times, and if he doesn't think he can win champs on this roster, he seems like a good enough player to win champs. I'd see it quite likely that he'll be leaving this squad, and there's many other teams that could potentially lap him up. I think a lot of teams here are going to be considering making changes. Another one we'll bring up here is we're going to look at United now. The reason why we're going to look at United, not necessarily for making changes, but really the Clayster situation. Because, the other teams can make changes, but we'll get onto that in just a second here. The reason why I circled EU was because Clayster has not won an event in something like 3 years, or like 1,200 days, something like that is his figure right now for how he hasn't won an event. And I think that a lot of people would say coming into this event, this is maybe his best chance of winning an event that he's had in a very long time. Throughout the last couple of years, he's got close. Of course, he made grand finals at London, lost, of course, to 100 Thieves. This may well be his best chance. The fact that he's got a BZ and Simp on his team, Pristini playing very well as well. They had a 7-0 split, even trying out new maps. So I think that's something to keep your eyes on here, is that Clayster hasn't won an event in a long time. I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this would like him to win one at least, because he's 27 now, possibly nearing the end of his career. We don't really know. He's the oldest pro in the scene, still competing as far as I'm aware. I think Tommy's right up there, but a little bit younger and also isn't competing now, so he might come back, of course. But, Clayster's really putting on a show for the older gentleman among us. And yes, if he can win an event, I think it would be a great storyline. I do think it's probably his best chance to do so in a long time. So, we'll have to see how it works out for United this weekend. They're probably my third favourite right now. I'd probably say 100 Thieves and Optic are slightly higher favourites for me. But of course, that's a big storyline to keep your eyes on throughout the weekend. Another team to mention here is, of course, going to be Gen G. These are one of the teams that are likely, potentially at least, to be making a roster change come that June 17th to the 20th. Had a pretty horrible showing in the league. Talked about it yesterday. A few of you guys were commenting on it in the comment section below. What exactly you think about Naga, what might be wrong with his particular playstyle. But yes, this is a team that was so good, and I honestly think they have improved drastically in their hardpoint. I just think their clutch factor is basically non-existent. I think all the guys on this team are very good. I think Nagafen on the whole does his job, but in terms of clutch factor, a lot of them are very, very up and down, and they will throw away games that they should not be losing in a million years. They did it to UYU, getting reverse swept by them. Of course, they got reverse swept by 100 Thieves at London, which really started the reign of terror, I guess, within their team itself, because it's not been looking good for them. So I don't know exactly what their solution is, or whether you need to get in a leadership figure like a Spacely to try and get their clutch factor back in order, or whether you just want to switch out Nagafen or another man on the team for someone like a Gunless that may be a free agent to try and really help solidify that. And Gunless is a pretty vocal guy. He might not be the easiest guy to get along with, but he's pretty damn vocal, and he is a very clutch player, I guess. So I mean, that's one option, but I definitely think a lot of these teams will be making changes, because people will be thinking, can I win champs with this squad? That's what I'm thinking. And if you go out, I mean, some of these teams have got to finish top 16. Some of these teams have got to finish top 12. Some of these teams have got to finish top 8. And if you're finishing top 8, like, if you're a pretty damn good team, say you're an Evil Geniuses here and you finish top 8, maybe you're thinking, can we win champs with this roster? Maybe it's not so clear. So it'll be very interesting. I think maybe the majority of teams after Anaheim will change. There's only 4 days on which to do it. And we don't know what's happening with Optic Gaming either. Potentially, that there was rumours that they might be, sold off. I doubt that would happen. But if Immortals do indeed have control of Optic, as it is said, then you never know. If they are incredibly incompetent, it's possible they could sell off the team. I'm not saying it's likely by any means. I doubt they would be that stupid. But you just never know. The control is not in Hector's hands anymore, as far as we're aware. But I will, of course, keep you updated on any news that happens. Now, the final thing I wanted to talk about here before we go on to some more general general discussion is the battle for the best maddox duo in the game. I mentioned this yesterday, so I've highlighted Kenny and Slasher on 100 Thieves, Karma and Dashi here, and Selim and Scraps. Now, you know, you guys pointed out in the comment section below yesterday that KD doesn't define everything, which I completely agree with. We can't necessarily look at Selim and Scraps and say that, you know, they're the best maddox duo because they, you know, have the highest stats overall, like a 1.36 for Scraps, 1.28 for Selim over their couple of weeks of play. But what you could say is that, well, because Selim and Scraps have Asim and Zuma, incredibly good SMGs for creating space for those players, and also zeros and ICR, that really helps those individuals thrive. Whereas maybe a team like, you know, 100 Thieves, for example, they've got guys like Priester on your SMG who's going to be putting up crazy numbers, maybe more than what Zuma and Asim would do in general. Therefore, it's going to take away slightly from Kenny and Slash's statistics line. Now, I think on the whole, Kenny has improved drastically. It's difficult to say right now, I think, who is the best assault rifle, the maddox duo in the game. Between these three, I think there's probably not much competition between these three duos. If you guys have any other ideas of what maddox duo could be the best, of course, you know, Formal and Gunless would have been one that came to mind if they ended up actually playing on the maddoxes. But right now, I think these three are probably up there. I think maybe Nolson and Temp is something that could maybe deserve an honourable mention. But yes, definitely something to keep your eyes on. And whichever team does better here is probably going to win the battle for that over the course of the weekend. So Kenny, I think in general, has been very, very clutch player. He seems to sometimes have games where he's doing very, very, you know, very slow game, like he'll be double negative or something like that, and then he'll bob a 3-piece out of nowhere and really help 100 Thieves come back into the game. So I really rate Kenny at the moment. I think Slash has improved as well throughout the last couple of months. I think I'd very much be keeping my eyes on 100 Thieves. Selim and Scraps have been superb. Selim just continues to improve every single time we see him play, and Scraps on the whole has been, you know, maybe top 5 player in the game this entire year. He's been absolutely ridiculous, and FaZe Clan is a very exciting team to watch right now. And then, of course, we have Optic Gaming because they've got Dashi on the team. Maybe the best player in the game. Somewhat difficult to say. I think he's got to be right up there. Didn't have maybe the best stats the last couple of weeks in the Pro League. But, of course, when you watch him play, the eye test tells you, okay, this guy's a monster. And he has performed ridiculously well so far this year. So, of course, any team with Dashi on is going to be considered for the best maddox duo. And with Karma up there as well, he's been playing very well on the whole. Usually, at the start of the year, I felt like this team was, when Dashi didn't go off, it was Karma who really stepped up and filled in the kills, but it very much felt like they were competing for the same set of kills, whereas in recent times, Karma has been able to put up good numbers while also Dashi's going off as well, which is a really good sign for Optic Gaming, and of course Karma's a very clutch player, so, you know, those are the guys I'd be considering right now. It's difficult to say. In terms of statistics recently, you would go for FaZe Clan's duo. In terms of raw ability, I guess you would go for, you know, Optic Gaming, the fact that they have Dashi on the team, and then in terms of clutch factor, I'd probably go for the 100 Thieves duo. So we'll just have to see how it goes this weekend. Going to be an exciting storyline to keep your eyes on. So yeah, that's pretty much the only ones I wanted to discuss today. Leave all your thoughts on this down in the comment section below. If you guys have any other ideas for which storylines I should have covered and which ones you are keeping your eyes on, then I'll be really interested to hear that. So yeah, like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you are new as always, enjoy the outro clip. Thank you guys so much for watching. Join my Discord if you would like. And I will see you next time.
I mean, they ran straight, like, their quick find A is so speedy.
We're just going to be man.
Yeah, I said last time I was going to push through mid. Stick to what we done last round.
One's here.
Dead.
Another one.
Oh, I got one shot, but he's a war machine. Classic.
We got aim assist. I'm just going to hold this for... Oh, he's in mid.
One's here, I mean.
Might
He
be
probably
one
went
machine.
stairs. Closest steps.
Oh my god, that was the most unfortunate thing you've ever seen.
Last man standing. You know what to do. One tango left. Take him out.
It's the end of the evenings. Oh!
Shit on.
Never a doubt.
How
Good
on earth did we
night.
just win that game? Look at the scoreboard.
And I don't get the kill
This was-
cam. You
This
are
was so
kidding me.
unfortunate.
Oh my god. He just launched you.
But he was so on top of me that, like, he wasn't on my screen. Like, he was just on my head.